guys, it's Nina and welcome back to my channel. Today's bed talk is going to be about my overnight glow up.
What do you mean?
So for a lot of people who have been a part of my life and actually know me as a person have seen a really big sudden shift and change in my character and my personality. In middle school, I was a very tomboy kind of person. I hated makeup. I didn't want to paint my nails, didn't want to put blush on my face, no mascara, no nothing. Don't put no makeup on me. I just want to wear sweatpants all the time.
I can feel a piece of hair.
Where are you? When I hit high school, I've just been kind of conditioned to be the Asian stereotype. But yes, I was very focused on school. Yes, I was honors student. Yes, I became senior class president. I was also very involved in the church. I did a lot of singing for the church. I was part of the youth group, went on all these youth retreats, and I was just this very preserved, shy Asian girl. I also was very strict on myself about dating people. I did not date people who went to school with me. I did not date people who worked with me. So I really didn't date anybody in high school. I did date this guy who was actually a really good friend of mine, and we dated for 2 years. And I just realized our dreams were very different, and our personalities, our aspirations, and I just did not want to. I just realized that my feelings started to shift. We ended up breaking it off, and this was my fresh start. I went to New Jersey with my youth group, kind of experiencing all this stuff, and my friend, one of my youth girls, was like, you should try Tinder. I used to tell my best friend, I was like, sometimes I wish I could just be that person that goes to all these college parties, and plays beer pong and talks to all these guys and stuff. And I'm like, but I just feel that's another lifetime for me. And I think after reflecting a lot, I realized that's who I was. The person I was then was who I was pretending to be. I knew it was what would make my parents proud. I was afraid to be the person I wanted to be because I was afraid to be judged. And so I did it. I joined Tinder, and it may not have been the best choice because a lot of people on Tinder are just trying to hook up. But I joined Tinder and I met some really nice people, and I also met some really aggressive people. But I just really was living my best life, really going out here, meeting all these different people, kind of going on dates. And in the middle of starting to live my freedom, I met this person, and we're gonna name him John. So John. I met John and we really hit it off. Literally, we met for the first time, and then it was just something different. For the first time, I liked someone, not because they were my culture or my ethnicity, or because they would bring great honor to my family and my name. Not because they had a good job and they could take care of me. Not because they were, this person who my parents would like. I genuinely liked this person because of the way they looked, the way they dressed, the way they acted, who they were, what they thought. And I was like, wow, I've never fallen so hard. That was the first time I feel I really fell in love. And it was the first time I met him. And literally after a week, we started dating. Things were going great. He lived about an hour out. We were visiting each other a lot. He was visiting me a lot because I didn't have a car at the time. And it was going great. And then it wasn't. He was hanging out with this girl a lot. This girl who he met roughly around the same time as me. But she was just a friend. Not anybody he was talking to, supposedly. And she was just being very assertive about hanging out with him all the time. There was times, we obviously didn't live in the same city, he lived an hour out, so she would be hanging out with him at the beach, and he'd be hanging out with her, and then she would make jokes about oh yeah, if you weren't in a relationship, da 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 da. And to me, as a girl, it's but to him he was
We're just friends.
So I trusted his word, and I was okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna try and be crazy, but obviously being in a relationship with him, I've never had so many insecurities in my whole life. He would make comments about my hair, oh, if you had longer hair, you'd be prettier. If you had bigger eyes, long lashes, you'd be prettier. It just kind of hit me, but it was under my skin. And no matter what, at the end of the day, he apologized, we worked it out, and we'd be fine. And we did that for 4 months. We started dating in August, and it was December, and he went out of country with his family on a trip. It wasn't until I think about a week in that we were finally messaging each other, and he just sounded kind of weird, different. Something was bothering him, but he wasn't telling me. And he was like, I was talking to my cousin and we were just kind of talking about some things. And I'm like, okay, like what? He was like, I just don't feel the way I used to feel about you. What does that even mean? That could mean a lot of things. For people who know me, I'm a very prideful person. Like, I'm very big on like being mature about the situation. But tell me the truth, give it to me straight, I can handle it. Like, if you want to leave, I'll let you leave. I'm not going to be that person who sits there and cries and begs for you to come back. I sat there and I was just kind of like, is it because I gained weight? Is it because I'm not as pretty? Is it because my hair is not long? Is it because you met somebody new? And like, just tell me the truth. Like, I can handle it. My heart shattered into a million pieces. He dead ass told me, you guys. He was like, I'm biased towards Filipinas and you're pretty, but you're not the prettiest. And I was like, what? I obviously ended the relationship and I was like, I just want you to be happy. Don't think I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for us. And I hope you are happy. I hope you live a good life. And then I went back home and I cried for 2 days. I cried every day for like 2 weeks. And there was times like, I'd be like waking up and I'd be crying. I'd be sleeping, I'd be crying. I'd be like eating and I'd be crying. I'd be watching TV and I'd be crying. I'd be on the toilet and I'd be crying, you guys. Like, I've never experienced something so deep, so dark, so heavy before. I'm a very optimistic and
bubbly person. Like, let's do it, yeah!
So like, to be in a headspace like that, I didn't know how to cope. I went back on Tinder and was just kind of like talking to these people, talking to guys, and my advice to people out there is try not to jump into the game too fast if you're not ready, because really you're walking out there with a broken heart and you're expecting people to piece it back together. So like I wasn't expecting people to piece it back together, but I was giving myself false hope. So I was really hurting myself even more. No matter how many guys I talked to, every single one told me what I wanted to hear. You're so pretty. Oh, you're so beautiful. And even if they were genuine and sincere about it, I was so hollow. Those compliments bounced right off my skin. I wasn't very confident to begin with because I was very preserved. I was really careful about what I did about my image, very quiet. And then I finally found somebody I liked, and then it tore me into pieces. And then here I am. I'm even lower than I was when I first started. So I'm like, where do I even begin? I had lived in the dorms at the time. My friend Navaya and we took some pictures of ourselves because she was like, oh, I want to take some pictures in my lingerie. And I'm like, bet. So we took pictures of each other in our lingerie. And we were so happy about the outcome, you guys. It was first of all, it was inspiring because I've never done pictures in lingerie like that, And I was like, I love my body. Like, I do. But people are always telling me, you gotta hide it. You can't show it. Not even the shoulders, And I'm like, what? And I get it, for professional reasons. There's sometimes, obviously, you don't want to be walking around naked all the time. And we're like, yeah, too bad we're never gonna post these. And we both sat there and we're like, yeah, that's true. We're never gonna post these. And we're like, yeah, it's just hard because our families follow us on Instagram and and we're gonna get backlash for this. And we looked at each other. I'm like, Navaya, let's do it. Why does it matter? We should do what we want to do. It's our social media. And she was like, you're right. So that night we archived all of our pictures and started fresh. And I posted this picture and I went to sleep. At the time, I had 400-ish followers, and I didn't really get many likes, and I really wasn't that active on Instagram. I posted, what I was eating and pictures of kids that I was with. It was just, random stuff. It made no sense. And this is the first time I actually, really thought about what I posted. I really liked it. I really cared for it. Took time and effort for this. And I posted it, went to sleep, didn't think anything of it. Mind you, I'm not Instagram famous, I'm nothing. So, obviously, this is not a lot of likes. But close to the 5 to 25 likes I would get on a post on the average, this was a really big jump for me. All the positive feedback I was getting just really reassured me that, you know what? We are the shit, okay? you are the shit, okay? You can do whatever you want to do. It's your Instagram, your social media. People don't like it, they can unfollow you. They can turn ahead. They don't need to look, all right? So after that, I just grew all this confidence. It's like that hollow shell became filled. I experienced a love that I never experienced before. And this was way stronger than what I had with John. Like, I genuinely really loved myself. And I started to see it and I started to glow. And that's something that I never had. So I think a lot of people, like, especially from high school, were like, oh, you know, Nina's this really, you know, shy, preservative girl who was senior class president, did all the right things. What is this? You know, and it just, my social media shifted so drastically that everyone just didn't know how to handle it. Nowadays, people look at my Instagram and they think, you know, I've been like this forever. But the truth was, I wasn't. It took for someone to break me in order for me to love me. The glow up was real, and puberty hit me like a truck. That is how I glowed up overnight. Hey you guys, as I'm closing out this video, I just want to make sure that I reiterate that you guys are loved, you guys are amazing, you guys are the shit. You know, you guys are the best you that you could be. So I hope that you continue to love yourself and spread positive vibes.